waiting out the back to come and share their passion and their drink. But for the next set, I think it makes sense to invite probably my favorite rum brother. Juanito, are you out there, brother? So Juan Coronado and I have spent a lot of time listening to that. But we've spent a lot of time together, working together on Legacy. Brother man, welcome to the stage. I think you underestimate how amazing and important he is. Can we have a bigger round of applause? That's pretty good, that's good. So, brother man, we've been together for many legacies. Why do you love it so much?
I love the fact that the Legacy, it's not only a vehicle, it's not only a platform, but it's a lifestyle. It's a great thing to be part of the 2017 Legacy. It's a way of living. It's more than that.
Pretty badass.
Shall we?
Yeah. So over to Juan, enjoy the rest of the session.
All right, everybody. Big round of applause for Dicky. Thank you, Dicky. All right. Welcome to the third round of the 2017 BACARDÍ Legacy of the Cocktail Competition. How are you feeling? All right. To those of you that are here, that are privileged to be here today, and to those of you that are watching through the internet, welcome to the third round. This is a good one. This one we're going to dedicate it, pardon me, to all of the mentors that have made this legacy amazing. I'm talking about Dickie Cullimore, G.N. Shan, our current winner, amazing dude. Jose Pepe Sanchez Gavito, our master blender. To Jacob Bryars, the sound of rum. To Ian, thank you for all the healthy tips. We're going to keep bartending for a long time. We also want to thank our amazing Bueno San that yesterday showed us a couple of tips on the bar. To Monica, we love pineapples more than ever. All right? Naren Jones, wherever you are, haven't seen you around here in a few, but thank you for keeping it up. He's actually my favorite Australian in New York, I have to say that. All right, guys, so without further delays, are you ready to start the legacy? All right. I'm going to invite our next contestant. I hope he's ready back there, but he's coming all the way from Belgium. His name is Ramban Ojenvale. Let's receive it with a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Time starts now.
Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ran van Olievallen from the Pharmacy Bar in Belgium, and I'm very proud to be standing here today. And not just for any reason. I remember very clearly, a bit over 5 years ago, I went to go and see my dad's performance at the national finals of BACARDÍ Legacy. And I remember that I was so amazed about the professionalism and the expertise, but above all, about the family feeling that bartending had. So for me, that was the beginning of a very, very intense love story. So that's why I'm proud to be standing here. I'm happy to say we're running a very successful family bar, plus we're about to open up our first joint venture all across the sea in Mexico. So I'm very proud for that. But, guys, I'm not here to tell you a story. In fact, I'm not here to make you a drink. I'm here to tell you a drink. The tale of Clarita. And this tale starts with Spanish wines. Because one of the things Don Facundo and I, it's cold in here. One of the things Don Facundo and I, we have in common, it's the intense love we share for Spanish wines. So Bacardí Ocho was released back in 1995 as a sherry cask finished rum. So by re-adding the sherry to the rum, we're reviving its old soul, amplifying the nutty tones, stretching out the oaky notes. If Clarita could speak, she would be screaming, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was better than rehearsing with my dog and cat. Thank you for that. So the next ingredient I'm using, it's crème de cacao, chocolate cream. Because I'm from Belgium, I'm a proud Belgian. And us Belgians, we're known for a couple of things. We have some of the best beers in the world. And as a bar owner, I can also say that we pay some of the highest taxes on alcohol in the world. It's funny because it's true. But we're most known for our use of chocolate. So whenever someone comes to Belgium, they take home with a box of chocolates to gift to their loved ones. So this resembles my gift to my new family, the Bacardi family. And if we take a closer look at the history of that family, we can all agree upon one thing, is that they had a lot of misfortunes. For example, a fire destroyed a distillery house. But it would have taken more to tame the rise of the bat. And that was what Don Facundo Son Emilio embodied. He embodied the 3 principal meanings of the bat symbol. And that was family unity, that was fortune, and that was health. Now, if you take a closer look at the 3 principal meanings of the Clarita symbol, we would be seeing family, heritage, and innovation. So family, heritage, and innovation. So if you take those last 2, we go back to our dash bottles. So, absent, heritage. If it wasn't for Doña Amalia's imagination about the bat symbol, maybe it could have been a honeybee or a dancing squirrel, or maybe something funnier. And salt reflects on innovation, on 2 parts of innovation. First of all, it reflects on Don Facundo's thirst for innovation, about isolating a specific yeast strain, distilling and filtering multiple times, or even aging on charred oak barrels. And on the flip side, it reflects to all of us, to you, to you, to you, and to me, us bartenders, that are constantly triggered and fascinated by the use of new and innovative ingredients in our drinks. So salt, it's no magic, just does the trick. And then last but not least is Bacardí Ocho. So Bacardí Ocho was my rum of choice because for me, it's the best example of true craftsmanship. So when I started to create Clarita, I wanted to create it in the mindset of a maestro de ron. What would Don Pepe do if he would be standing here today? If he would have become a bartender? How would he think about a drink? So I think he would just take the base spirit and then just look for certain amplifiers that would amplify the flavor of Ocho rather than putting new flavors that would overmask or overshadow the flavor. So this was my quest to look for harmonious flavors, or a family of flavors. So this is in honor of all the maestros de ron who are sitting behind closed doors, blending multiple different drums for you and for me to enjoy. So the name Clarita is derived from Clara Astie, the wealthy godmother of Doña Amalia. If it wasn't for her little help about funding the dreams of Don Facundo and Doña Amalia, maybe they could have never chased their legacy, thus never started their heritage. And then the garnishing part, of course. So I'm using olive oil as a garnish. So why olive oil? First of all, we wanted to look for an innovative way to approach the garnishing. So I wanted to put something on there that would not affect the flavor of clarita, but rather put the flavor onto its maximum level. So what happens is, if we take some olive oil inside our mouth, our body naturally produces more saliva to break down the oil. So the more saliva we produce, the more fun we have. The more fun we have, the better the nights. The better the nights, the better the life. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that's the key to happiness. With my Japanese glassware, I'm very happy they survived it all the way from Japan to here. It was different back in London. Now, if you take a close look again at the three meanings of the bat symbol, we would see family unity, fortune, and health. And if you take a closer look at the three meanings of the clarita symbol, we will be seeing family, heritage, and innovation. So I want to end this presentation with a wise saying that hangs on top of our bar. So the bar where I work with my father, my oldest sister, my youngest sister, and the love of my life, and it is family. We may not have it all together, but together we have it all. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Big round of applause for...
Thanks, man.
Awesome, that was awesome, brother.
Thank you.
I have a question for you, pretty quick.
Yes.
Everybody wants to know, what inspired you to go for a spirit-driven cocktail, such as the one that you just did?
For me, oh yeah, it works as well. So for me, what I wanted to do is really express the flavor of ocho, because I said it's very complex, and I wanted to stretch out that complexity by adding ingredients that would reinforce the flavor. So I know it's a spirit-forward drink, but for me also a classic drink, of course it's a mojito, it's a daiquiri, it's a Cuba Libre, but for me the classic drinks are also the ones that have very pungent flavors, so that are rather high in alcohol. So I think like sometimes dry martini is a very, very nice cocktail that people enjoy. So for me, this is my version of a power cocktail that will linger. So it's a story within a cocktail. So it will change and evolve in flavor. And that was my task creating a Clarita.
Round battle, Himbale. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Big round of applause.
Thank you.
All right, so while we get ready for our next contestant, we're going to go on a little break and stay tuned. Be right back.
Hey guys, so we're backstage. It's pretty hectic here right now, but we're here with Ran Van from Belgium. He's just jumped off stage.
Yeah, exactly. It was amazing. It was a very exciting time. Like the stuff you rehearsed for so long finally come to life on stage with the judges and the people and the crowd, and everyone was feeling really good. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy about the presentation.
Awesome. You just said to me before we came on camera, he just said to me that you feel like you're coming out of a shell when you get off stage.
Yeah, exactly. So you have a lot of nerves coming up, your heart's beating, and then the moment you walk and you put your stuff and you're talking and you feel the confidence from the judges and the people, like it's coming off and you're feeling more self-sure, and then the moment you walk off, you're like, I want to do it again, but better. So
awesome. So you're super pumped for the week, yeah?
I am super pumped.
Awesome,
very
man.
pumped. So,
good luck. Can't wait to see what you get up to.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, man.
Cheers,
Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Cheers.
man. Stay tuned, guys. We're going to the next competitor very, very soon. Cheers.
That are the hostess of this legacy that have been pouring amazing cocktails and serving the hospitality that they know very well in Berlin. So to them, big round of applause, please. Thank you for that. Thank you, Berlin. I'm going to bring our next contestant, and he's coming all the way from Singapore. His name is Davide Boncemino. Big round of applause for him. Davide, and your time starts now.
All right. Esteemed judges, fellow bartenders, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BACARDÍ Legacy Global Semifinals. I would like to start thanking Bacardi for organizing this beautiful event. It is truly an honor for me to be here, competing amongst some of the best bartenders in the world, to share my legacy with all of you. To set the mood, I would like to take you back to the Prohibition era of 1920s, when alcohol was banned in the US. And people were flying over to Cuba to enjoy good drinks and good fun. At the airport, there was always one person waiting for them, welcoming them to Cuba. The very first ambassador for Bacardi, Rafael Valiente, or as people used to call him, Papi Valiente. He would take them to the famous black and gold bar in an edificio Bacardi and treat them to a daiquiri, Mary Pifford, El Presidente, or a Cuba Libre. one of the most influential bartenders in the history of the brand. He was known as the happiest salesman in Havana, and thanks to him, Bacardi increased its popularity all over the Prohibition era. He gave a unique experience to people with both his hospitality and great Bacardi cocktails. Now, nearly 100 years later, the legacy I'm presenting today shares those same values. Today, I'm preparing a Marshall, inspired by regular customer Chris Marshall, who is to Singapore today what Papi was to Cuba in 1920s. Chris Marshall, thank you. Chris Marshall has always been fascinated about bartending. One of those guests who loves to sit at the bar, where he can see the action, can learn something new, and where he can engage in a conversation with the bartenders or with other guests. He travels often for work, and wherever he goes, he likes to visit bars, meet new people, share his stories, and enjoy his favorite cocktail. Bars and bartender supporter is now considered a bar influencer. And it's no longer just learning, but actually sharing his passion and knowledge with everyone around him. Back a year ago, when I first moved to Singapore, a man welcomed me at the airport and helped me step my foot in a new city. His name, Chris Marshall. Now, I believe everyone in the world has his own Marshall. Everyone has that person who welcomes you, supports you, follows you, and help you growing. Back in 1852, Don Facundo Bacardí Massot met a man. His name, José Leon Boutelier. This man believed in Don Facundo and supported his dream, being part of his very first journey into rum, studying and trying different techniques of distillation until they found a perfect balance between aguardiente and redistillado, making a rough spirit into a premium one, changing the history of rum and cocktails as we see today. Chris Marshall is a rum connoisseur and drink connoisseur, and I wanted to create a cocktail based on simple ingredients, but with a complex flavor. They would love and ask in any good bar he visits. Bacardi 8. It's perfect because of its complexity and rich flavor. Beautiful blend of rum aged between 8 and 16 years. Orange, vanilla, chocolate, and a little wood will be the main ingredient of my cocktail, the main flavor. Main flavor with Oloroso sherry wine. Sweet and dry notes of chocolate and nuts. The combination of sherry and rum will give complexity to my cocktail. Reminds also the wine merchant origin of Bacardi family. Saint-Germain elderflower liqueur, fruity and floral, will be your middle palate with agave nectar. Nutty and floral as well will bring up all the beautiful flavors of Bacardi. Lemon juice will balance the cocktail, making it refreshing and easy to drink. Going to a deep finishing of rum, sherry, and a subtle spiciness coming from the last ingredient, black pepper. The extra touch that will make my cocktail unique. To show how far hospitality can go, Chris Marshall did all the way from Singapore to be here, sitting beside you guys, supporting me once again. And I just would like to say thank you, Chris. You're awesome. Thank you. And now we're ready to shake. On the first sip, you will taste the citrusy and refreshing notes of this cocktail. Going through the glass, you will taste more and more the sweet and spicy notes of the drink. lemon zest as garnish. This is a celebration to all our guests and hospitality. The reason why we love bartending and the reason why we keep pushing ourselves to create new and interesting things. They're able to bring us together. Without them, we wouldn't be the same. Just remember these 3 simple words. 1, Marshall, please. Thank you.
Davide, thank you very much for enlightening us. You got such a great style when you bartend. Thank you. I have a quick question for you.
Sure.
All right. How has it been working with your ambassador during this legacy?
We are live, right? Amazing. He's been supporting me every single day, and he's doing a great job. We're friends as well, so we know each other since a while. And when he joined Bacardi, it's been just like extra touch, you know. Along these 6, 7 months, almost 8, it's been great. He's been supporting all of us, not just me.
So you can definitely say that you guys are family, right?
We are.
Awesome.
Definitely we are. And this is a big family. We see many people here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Big round of applause for Davide.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Pleasure. All right, we're going to go on a little short break, but we'll be right back. Thank you. BACARDÍ Legacy 2017 Global, the finals. We're going to welcome with a big round of applause to a lady that actually was born in one of the most beautiful cities in the tropics. She's from Toronto, but she's representing Sweden today. With a big round of applause, we want to dedicate this one to all the ambassadors that are here working the BACARDÍ Legacy. So a big round of applause to all the BACARDÍ ambassadors that are here present today. We know how it is. It's not easy. All right, so without further delay, I'm going to welcome Caitlin Wilkes, all the way representing Sweden.
My name is Caitlin Wilkes, and I'm a traveling bartender, originally from Toronto, Canada, but today I am here representing Sweden. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow bartenders and honorable judges, it is a genuine pleasure to stand here in front of you and present my legacy, Gonzo, and its cocktail narrative. Thank you very much to both you, this gorgeous audience, and of course, to the BACARDÍ family for giving me this opportunity. Putting things into writing brings them alive. A note on a cocktail napkin can be the start of a new romance or the plans for a better business. The countless works of historical writing in the cocktail industry allows us, modern bartenders, to not just look up a recipe, but to soak in the story. We have the opportunity to fully envision the characters, the plot, and the atmosphere in which a particular cocktail captivated an audience for the very first time. The legacy of Ada Coleman and her hanky-panky lives on and is used as inspiration by female bartenders all over the world because, well, because somebody took the time to write it down. I have kept a narrative story on my life from the age of 18 up into including this very moment. Writing has been there for me as a release and as a way to express myself. And it's in my writing and being a fan of other authors that I found inspiration for my legacy, Gonzo. Yes, thank you. The name Gonzo, simple and easy to remember, and no, it's not a reference to the Muppets, is a reference to American journalist Hunter S. Thompson and his legacy of Gonzo journalism. A writing style that is written without objectivity and often includes the reporter as a part of the story. Now, Hunter S. Thompson is most famously known for his two books, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and The Rum Diaries. Thompson wrote the Rum Diaries when he was in his early 20s and moved to Puerto Rico and spent it soaked on rum. Most definitely on Mismos, as Bacardi's Cathedral of Rum was just a short bike ride away from his bungalow. Now, unlike Thompson, you'll be pleased to know I haven't really spent the first part of my 20s totally soaked in rum. Though 14 guest shifts in 11 cities in the last 6 months around the world promoting Gonzo, I think it's pretty fair to say there has been some splashing of rum. Speaking of which, I have a bottle right here. Shall we crack it open? Yeah! Amazing. Bacardi 8, a blend of Aguardiente and Rita Salado rums. Rested for a minimum of 8 years in oak barrels, is the main character of this cocktail. Its slightly fruity aroma, butterscotch sweetness, and nuttiness were the qualities I wanted to enhance when I approached making this drink. Its definitive personality would be the backbone to the cocktail. When it came to creating Gonzo as a legacy, it was so important to use rum, as it had been a part of every great writer's story. The creation of rum has become a timeless art form, just like literature. Next, I will add maraschino liqueur to enhance the sweetness and add a touch of fruitiness to the cocktail. You guys doing all right back there? All good? Then a little bit of a Monticello sherry to just enhance a little bit of dryness to the cocktail and acidity. This is also something that Thompson used in his writing, a little bit of dry humor. Then the addition of grapefruit bitters for both that hint of slight citrus and bitterness for balance. This is also a shout out to more than one of the great writers of our time who loved grapefruit. The approach to creating Gonzo was to build a cocktail that fit into a drinking category I loved, spirit-forward cocktails, but to also add an element of approachability because I wasn't going to be the only one drinking it. It's a drink that needed to be served long over block ice to control dilution and keep everything ice cold. Then to top the drink with Fever Tree Tonic, giving it a little fresh and crisp character, ensuring to keep the tonic chilled before pouring to really make that crisp factor pop. And then, of course, to garnish the cocktail with a slice of grapefruit to really pair with those bitters and fruitiness, but to also really give the cocktail a fresh aroma. All of this makes the drink extremely replicable in ingredients, but complex in taste. Now, my strive for adventure and my burning desire for an international career are the exact two reasons I stand here in front of you and present my legacy Gonzo. You know, it's truly a definition of me as a bartender and as a woman. Elegant and strong. In 155 years, Don Facundo Bacardi and his family built a worldwide legacy known for its superior quality and iconic bat. It has taken me 8 months, and 11 days to write this story so far. A story about travel, passion, and untamable nature. A story of my legacy Gonzo, and what it feels like to stand here right now, leaving behind something I absolutely love. So before I go serving you this cocktail, I'm just curious. How is it that we know about classic cocktails like the daiquiri? Because Jennings Cox wrote it down. And how is it that we know about Ada Coleman's Hanky Panky? Because Harry Craddock wrote it down. So, the last question is, how is it that we're going to remember my legacy Gonzo? Easy. Because I wrote it down. Yeah. Enjoy. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you very much, Caitlin.
Oh, thank you.
That was nice. Thank you very much. I have a question for you, a quick one. What tips will you give to those new generation of bartenders that are aspiring to be part of the legacy? What's your takeaway on here?
Try everything twice, taste everything, and practice, because time behind the bar is invaluable. So just keep going at it.
Keep going. Perseverance. Big round of applause for Caitlin, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, a legacy ain't nothing without a bartender that has a passion, that have the charisma, that can embody the spirit of some of the Bacardi family members, like Emilio Bacardi. So we'll be right back in a few with our next contestant. I hope you're feeling excited because this stage is really on fire. I love the last presentation. Guys, the next competitor is here to honor all the legacy, all the competitors that have passed through stages like this during the global finals. Which we have Lisa here, ladies and gentlemen. Cocktails such as venceremos, inspiring legacies that have like their history of the cocktails. Cocktails such as Speak Low, Chingogoken. Cocktails such as Marco's Fizz. And a whole array of other ones that are beautiful that definitely are part of the tradition and the collection of the BACARDÍ Legacies. I want to bring one of my colleagues actually up to the stage, but he's competing this time. Coming all the way from the beautiful and sunny city of Los Angeles, West Coast, United States. That is a great actually bartender and colleague that has been in the industry for a while, like many of us. But before I do that, I want all of us to acknowledge my dear friend Mike Dolan that is sitting right here. He's honoring us today with his presence. Mr. Dolan, it's such a great pleasure to have you here. Thank you. Now, let's bring Mr. Ryan Wainwright all the way from Los Angeles, California, United States, West Coast. Big round of applause. Big round of applause. Time starts now.
Truly a pleasure to be here in Berlin. This has been an amazing journey, amazing couple of days. Some of you have taught me some very powerful things in some seminars, and I thank you for that. This was something that I didn't necessarily see coming. For me, entering this competition, I had a totally different drink in mind. But it was because of a chance trip to Puerto Rico, thanks to my girlfriend, that I ended up floating in the waves off of a beach in Puerto Rico called Playa Fortuna. And that moment, as the rain fell gently and I drank a coconut floating there, I wanted to encapsulate that moment and bring that, my legacy, which is Playa Fortuna, and which is honesty. Anyone that knows me knows that if you ask me for my opinion, I will tell you exactly how I feel. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. It's funny, but it's also true. I think that if we seek to reach out to each other and offer up our honest truth, this is what the world needs right now. This is what we all need right now. For me, when I entered this competition, I had no idea how people were going to respond to my legacy. When I told everyone that I felt like my legacy was one that we could share. And I have been overwhelmed by the fact that we are sharing it. And I have been inspired by the messages that I received on Facebook, by the artists that reached out and shared their talent, and by the people that came into my bar to talk to me about what honesty meant to them and how it had impacted their lives. It is truly surreal for me to be here in Berlin. Berlin and I have a history that goes back before I was born. This is the city my grandfather called home, and I am representing the city that I call home. He lived here in Berlin and was born here. He lived here until 1939. And it wasn't until a very specific turn of events happened that he fled for his life from a war the family went through. They were forced to leave their community and reach out and start again in Puerto Rico. And so I feel very honored to be here and in Berlin and representing my legacy of honesty. I truly believe that this fine product came out of honesty. Don Facundo Bacardi was a general store owner, and he didn't sell any of the local aguardientes. No, he found them inconsistent and lacking, downright rough, one might say. And he was from Catalan, and he understood good distillate. He reached out through a series of misfortunes, and he was able to join up with another gentleman and create a product that he made for his people. He saw a need for honesty, and he created what he felt filled that void. He brought it to his people, and they responded, and they are still responding, as Bacardi is the largest family-owned spirits company in the world, which truly deserves a round of applause. Thank you. So, I'm going to pour some lime juice, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what we do, what I do, and what a lot of us here do, and that is hospitality. Hospitality isn't some crazy notion. It is literally about reaching over and treating the guest as just that, a guest. It is something that I think we all know about, but we all sort of represent that because hospitality is something that you don't necessarily know up front. A coconut is something that you a lump of wood, but it's not until you see someone crack it open and you taste what's inside that you really understand. You'll never forget that delicious flavor. Same with hospitality. You might go out to a bar, and it's not until you get involved with that bartender, thank you, Colin, wherever you are. It's not until you get involved with that bartender that you truly understand what hospitality is. And for me, I remember the first time that happened. It changed the way that I treat everyone that walks into my bar. And again, that's a funny point if you know me, but it's in my own way. It's in an honest way. So I'm going to pour a little falernum, and then I'm going to pour a few drops, I'm going to drop a few drops of tartaric acid in there. Now, for me, tartaric acid represents those bitter truths. And this is what makes honesty really hard. It's the bitter truths. It's those moments where you have to tell somebody something that isn't easy to say, and it isn't going to be easy for them to hear. But this is what makes honesty so beautiful and special. Those bitter moments where you change the direction of someone's life forever. I know that we have all experienced those moments. Our lives have been changed by somebody reaching out to us. And so I want to shake up these drinks. And while I do that, I would love it if you guys thought about those times where someone loved you, cared about you enough to reach out and touch your life and change it forever. So here we go. So, this drink is for those people that cared about me enough to reach out, and it's for those people that cared enough about you to reach out with their honesty. And I want you all to close your eyes and come to the playa with me. Let's sit in the sun, enjoy a refreshing drink made with the Bacardi, and I know that my grandfather is there with us. So, to that, I say, a classic should seem like it's always been there, and to be sure, Playa Fortuna has. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Ryan. That was awesome. Thank you very much for sharing your playa Fortuna with us.
Thank you.
So, can you tell us, how has it been to be sharing your Bacardi legacy here in Berlin with all of us? You're representing the United States, two-time global winner. You're on the shoes of Chingo Goken and Jian Chen.
Yeah, when you put it like that, wow. No, this has been life-changing for sure. If any of you go back and watch me when I did my regionals, the transformation of myself, not necessarily of the drink, but just the idea of the drink has really been, it's taken on a life all its own. And it's been really humbling to be around. It's been inspiring. It sounds corny, but it for the last, since December, it's been amazing.
Thank you.
Let's grab.
All right, we'll be right back with another contestant in a few. Thank you very much.
Hey guys, so now we're here live with Mr. America himself.
Oh man.
How was that?
That was amazing. That was amazing.
I think if you watched that live just then, how many seconds did you have left then?
Not a lot.
Pretty tight, right?
I don't want to think about it.
No, it was good. I mean, yours was a really cool story.
Thank you.
And I think I was sat in the crowd for that one then, and everyone was super engaged.
Oh, you're
and hopefully, you feel like you left everything up there right then, right?
I did. I really did. And so I hope. It's funny because this drink has just grown into something that I never even imagined, which has been really amazing to be a part of. I almost feel like I'm a part of it, as opposed to it being a part of me. And so that was really.
It looked like you enjoy it.
I did.
I've seen you mulling around backstage the last couple of minutes, looking pretty
I've definitely had the nerves, but yeah, I loved every minute of it. I've never done anything like that.
Man, you look like you've done it loads of times before. You really did. It was great.
You're too kind.
Hey, so for everyone who's watching live, we've got two Americans here. We've got the East Coast, West Coast vibe
That's
going
true.
on. So
That's
tell
true.
us a little bit about the East Coast, West Coast rivalry. Is there one?
There,
All good?
honestly, there's zero. It's been amazing actually getting to know him. That's been one of the greatest parts of this. We spent a little bit of time together in Miami doing pop-ups and really just hanging out. And he is an amazing guy. I will be in the stands tomorrow cheering him on for sure.
Cool, man. Hey, well, we're going to let you go because you look like you want to go and, you know, like, just relax and stuff. But hey, man, again, congratulations.
Thank you,
You
brother.
did absolutely killer, man.
You're
well
too
done.
kind. Thank you.
Cool. Right, cheers, guys. We're just about to go for the last couple of compets, and then we're going to have a break where we're going to interview someone super cool. So you want to stay tuned for that one. Cheers.
Dear industry friends, I hope you have enjoyed so far all the rounds that we have shown you here at the Legacy. So far, I'm super excited because I've seen a lot of passion. I've seen these bartenders giving themselves into their stories and cocktails. So that's very important because passion is one of those key ingredients to make a perfect legacy. All right, I'm going to invite to the stage our last contestants for this round. His name is Peter Gozon, and he's coming all the way from Hungary. Big round of applause. Time starts now.
Good. Woo! So, hello everybody. My name is Peter Gozon, and I am representing Hungary today. First of all, I would like to say thank you to my Hungarian friends and colleagues for signing this shaker for me. In this way, they are also here on the stage today. So thank you guys. I don't know where is the camera. Woo! Yeah. Let me show you a picture of Don Facundo Bacardi and Donna Amelia. They were much more than a family. Together, they made their dream come true. And actually, they remind me of myself. And my fiancée was sitting there today, and I am very grateful to her for supporting me on this journey. And I hope one day we can also make our dream to come true, just like them. Woo! And for sure, thank you for the Bacardi family for this competition. So, Sin Límites. This is the name of my cocktail. It's a Spanish expression for being limitless. To understand the meaning of it, I needed to experience a lot. And it all started when I was a child. My father was a journalist, and because of this, we moved a lot with my family. By the time I made new friends, we had to move on again. To be very honest with you, I never really had childhood friends. The only thing that was always there for me was my family. And when we moved back to Hungary, I had a very hard time with the same-age children because they treat me like a stranger, even though I was at home. And because of this, I lost my self-confidence. Like most of us, I also had a dream as a child. I wanted to be an actor, a movie star. But the people around me said, I'm not good enough. And you know what? Unfortunately, I believed them. Never, ever believe anybody who wants to tell you that you are not good enough. Because if you believe in something, and you do anything to make it happen, you can be anything. You can be sin limites, just like Don Facundo Bacardi with his legacy. 3 years ago, I went to my first bar as a guest. The music, the smell, and mostly the bartenders amazed me from the first sight. In that moment, I knew that I want to be part of it. And that's why I became a bartender, to excite people, and through this, to get back my self-confidence. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever achieved something in your life that you really wanted and you worked very hard for it? If yes, please raise your hands. Okay, now, try to remember the feeling that you had in that moment, because that's the sin limites. The feeling that we have in the moment when all the invested energy comes to a result. Because in that moment, we feel like anything is possible, like we are sin limites. And now, let's make my cocktail limitless. First, I will start with adding some cardamom seeds to my shaker. This will give an Asian spicy flavor to the drink. Then, Bacardi Carta Blanca, a light and elegant rum. And I believe that this symbolizes the hard work of the Bacardi family through the years that made them limitless. And it's also the inspiration for my legacy. Like I said, I lived in many countries, and living in Italy was one of the most significant parts of my life. And the piece of my heart is still there, and I wanted to put that piece in my drink with an Italian aperitif. I use lime juice for freshness and balance. And I made my own vanilla syrup to ensure to give you the best. For garnish, I use vanilla salt, also made by me. And I will recommend you to try the vanilla salt last and first without it, because in this way, you can enjoy two different ways of my drink. Just taste it. Perfect. And this actually is one of my favorite parts, the shaking. So, let's shake it, guys. Woo! Okay. In the last 2 years, since I've been in this industry, I had the feeling of being sin limites quite often, especially during the Bacardi Legacy. And I am very grateful for it. But if you had your own Donna Amelia, like Don Facundo Bacardi had, it's much easier to be. Sin Límites. So, I have a last question from you. What do you think? Who else can be Sin Límites? Please, have a look at the screen, because it's you. It's all of you. Look at your right, look at your left. We are Sin Límites. Woo!
Thank you very, very much, Peter Gozon, all the way from Hungary. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. You are the Sin Límites. Well, Peter, great. Thank you for sharing your passion with all of us. I totally relate and understand Sin Límites because I guess all of us at one point in our lives are there. And we will get to realize our capabilities and go Sin Límites. But I want to ask you, Hungary, great place. I personally haven't had the chance to be there yet, but I definitely will. Can you tell us about your industry? How is it growing? How is it impacting? What's your role today here representing your industry in Hungary?
Well, yes. So the BACARDÍ Legacy is the second year that they are making in Hungary. And I would say in the last years, our culture, our drinking culture, our bar culture is developing a lot. So we are still a little back in time with this. So we have a few very nice bars, but actually in the last few months they opened a lot of new bars which are very high quality, and I would recommend everybody who is going in Hungary to try these bars because they are very nice. But before that it was like quiet. Now it's getting stronger, and we hope we are going to get the level to the others, and it's a very big pleasure to represent my country in this big competition. So, yes, thank you.
Well, you're setting a big sample to the ones that are coming after you. Thank you very much for being here, Peter. Big round of applause for him. Thank you.
So much.
Dear friends, this concludes the third round of the 2017 Global BACARDÍ Legacy Cocktail of the competition. My name is Juan Coronado, and it's been a pleasure to be here serving you today. Thank you.
Well, as you said, my name is Sandra Lawrence. I have a magazine together with my husband called The Cocktail Lovers, and we were actually very honoured to be named the best cocktail spirits and magazine in the world recently. So that's very cool.
So you're very qualified then to tell us what is a great cocktail.
A great cocktail, actually, it depends because it's a personal thing. But for me, I think great cocktails it's about your palate. And that's what this is great about this competition. For me, a great cocktail is not about 12 ingredients in a glass, it's about simplicity. And that's one of the things that we're seeing coming through with trends for cocktails, that, you know, you'd have like 24 different fruits in a glass before. Now I think that people are becoming much more confident to allow the ingredients, or maybe because we've got great ingredients, to allow those ingredients to shine through. So for me, a great cocktail is about simplicity and having the elegance for the drink to breathe. So people have been a bit braver with their choices of ingredients, and I think that people are becoming much more into local flavours. So even in London, you might have people foraging in London for local ingredients, but if you go somewhere to the Philippines, you'll have people using indigenous ingredients. So I think that that's really interesting for flavours in a glass and how they bring new light to the same spirit, really. So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing in this competition, because you'll have one spirit, but it's going to be interpreted in so many different ways because of the people from all over the world.
There's lots of like kind of cool cocktail trends happening in the minute. Like, what are a few of your favourites, or what are you noticing that's happening around the world right now?
Okay, there's lots of things. We've got things like lots of sherries. We've got a lot of lighter ABV cocktails. So that's things that are people still want to drink, but they don't want to go out and get completely drunk, shall we say. So it's about drinking more responsibly. So we've got longer, lighter, fresher drinks. We've also got things like tiki, which is great fun. I think that, yes, it's fruity flavours still, but it's just, cocktails are should be taken seriously, but when you go to a bar, it's about having a good time. So the tiki element is always great because it makes everybody smile when you get a glass coming to you with bits of, you know, fruit hanging over them and things like that. We also see a lot of fermentation that's happening in cocktails. So this is, how would you say it, fermented drinks being used in very clever ways. So you've got a lot of old techniques that are coming back. Just like you're always going to have a trend for classic cocktails. You'll get experimentation, but everything always goes back to the classics. And fermentation is another thing like that is very old, but it's being reimagined by a lot of creative bartenders.
Awesome.
So one of the other things that really is important, and this is worldwide, I think, that people are having so much more passion for the craft of cocktail making. So once before you'd have people just getting syrups from bottles. Everybody takes so much time, care and passion with the making of their ingredients. So you'll get homemade syrups, grenadines, you're going to get brines, people using all kinds of creative and clever things, liqueurs, even distilling their own spirits, some of them, that they will then use that to bring into the cocktail. And it's great because it means your personality is in there, you've got your creativity, you're bringing something new to the cocktail making art, and it really is an art. Sometimes people think that cocktails are just things that are just thrown together and it's luck. It's not. There's art, there's science, there's history, there's all kinds of things, and geography that comes into it because we're seeing much more use of indigenous ingredients, and it makes the whole thing very, very exciting.
Awesome. At BACARDÍ Legacy, it's all about making a drink that's going to stand the test of time. And to do that, you need the right ingredients.